All right, Red Baggett family, I am excited to review Hues of Hope by Baggett, a colorful journey outside the lines inspired by true life events. I've done a video about Baggett, right? You can find it right here, and his advice to young professionals. I talk about Will and what he's done for my life. He's been incredible to help me color outside the lines. But there's something really cool about this book right here is, oh, look, there's an excerpt from me in the book. All right, I'm gonna read it before I give a review of the book. Baggett has done it again. Hues of Hope is hard to put down. Through clear, concise, and actionable communication, he has crafted an inspiring story for all to never quench the thirst of possibility and discovery. Keep coloring outside the lines is a message that has been timely placed for this current time in our generation. This is an inspiring call to continue coloring outside the realm of possibility. Ed Jones, speaker and founder of Beyond the Field. That's me. So I had the pleasure of being one of the first people to read this book. And it's crazy when I say it was a book that was hard to put down. Literally, I was like, okay, Will sent it to me. And I was like, I'm gonna read this in between commercials. I think at the time it was the NCAA tournament. It might've been, April or some sport event was going on. I said, I'm gonna read it during the commercials and then watch the game. I literally found myself reading this the entire time of the game. It was that good. And I'm so excited once again that Will thought highly of me to let me be one of the first people to read Hues of Hope. And so here's my review. Takeaway number one, you heard it in the title, A Colorful Journey Outside the Coloring Outside the Lines. And one thing that in this book I love, and the book is a story of a young man finding out about family lineage, family legacy, his grandfather, and just the many things he did, but it was coloring outside the lines. And one thing that Will talks about in this book, and if you follow Will on LinkedIn or whatever, he talks about when you color outside the lines, you get out of what bounds you. The only thing that can bind you. Matter of fact, I got it right here. I don't want to say this wrong, Will. I don't want to say this wrong. When you color outside the lines, you aren't bound by anything but your mind, right? So when I color outside the lines, now I'm not bound by anything, right? My mind can go wherever it needs to go. And this is a great illustration in this book. Like I said, when you heard my review or my excerpt, this was needed for this generation because I think a lot of times we lock ourselves inside a box. Oh, this is only what I can do. This is only the realm of possibility is that big, or I only been able to do this, or I only have this, right? I had a conversation with someone about a position, and this person told me because of a degree I did not have that there's no possible way I could even get an interview for the position. Hindsight, what they're looking for, or what they're looking for, I have 15 years of experience in that specific thing and actually help people in that specific role or profession. And so it's interesting because I could sit there and say, oh, this is what I need to do, or yeah, they're right. But I was like, no, that doesn't mean that has nothing to do with me. That's what they think. That's what they think of this person that should be in this role. I am outside the lines. Yeah, I may not have that degree or that certification that you need, but I am creating where I am now. And so I love this story because this was needed. Like, Will, I don't know if you're watching this, but I needed this at the time I was at in my life. I was starting to get into that box thinking. I was starting to get into this is the only way it can look. And coloring outside the lines, as you all can imagine, coloring literally outside the lines has helped me create beautiful opportunities in my life. Takeaway number two is the message from his grandfather. And it's just a great story. He had a notebook from his grandfather. It was put in his backpack. His mother gave it to him. His parents gave it to him. And it had nothing in it to the last page. And the last page, it said, everything I know about life is in the preceding pages. And so the protagonist, like, there's nothing in these pages. Like, and so it was incredible to see the protagonist walk through trying to understand what that means. Like, what does this mean? And as he's walking through this message from his grandfather that everything he's learned about life is in the preceding pages, which are blank. He learns more about his grandfather because he's going around the city. He gets to see the impact. He gets to see the impact that his grandfather had based off the aspect of like, look, go out and get it done, And it's just, that was a great story. as I read, because I was like, all right, where's it? I know me. I'm like, I want to see something. A message from grandfather. That's cool. Like, where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? But seeing that growth, that takeaway of like, there's so much opportunity to learn. And there's one thing that Will said in the book, there's genius in everybody. There's genius in everybody. And it was just the genuity or the genius of his grandfather to have that aspect to help his grandson grow by saying, look, go out there, experience it, color outside the lines. And the third takeaway is that life is a broad perspective. It's all about how you see things. The problem is never the problem. It's how you respond to it. And so as the protagonist went around this book and learned these different things, the protagonist learned that, hey, the problem is how you looked at it. How do I look at this situation? How do I look at this? That's the problem is the problem. Like, it's never the problem. It's how I respond. And so even going back to getting the journal, the notebook with nothing written in it and seeing it as a problem, it was how the protagonist responded to it, where eventually the protagonist started putting entries in of wisdom into this notebook. And so this is just take you on a journey. I haven't read a fiction book in a while. I do a lot of, if you've been on this channel, I do a lot of culture, leadership, autobiography, kids books, but this was a fictional story that I needed. It was really, really good. It just really helped me where I was at to just like literally just color outside the lines, right on the pages. Let's make it happen. Life's there, experience it. It's a lot of great quotes. I got some more quotes here that I have from the book. It's not rejection, it's redirection. There's wisdom that comes from the most unlikely places because everyone has genius in them. Be quick, but don't hurry. In a hurry, you don't think straight. Get the right people on the bus and get them in the right seats. Always remember, you build trust by keeping your promises to other people. You build confidence by keeping your promises to yourself. Sometimes redirection is just protection in a really good disguise. Did they fail or did they just find a bunch of ways that didn't work? Imagine if they had only colored outside the lines. This is some quotes, and this is Will Baggett. I talked about it. This is who he is. He is a excellent speaker, and you understand why he's an excellent speaker and a great an innovator, encourager, and one who helps people actualize their lives by reading this book. Will, thank you so much for this. This was needed, as I said, and that is Hues of Hope by Will Baggett. Hey, go get your copy. The link is in the show notes. Let's go.